Presence as a catalyst for change. The present moment is the only time over which we have dominion, said Thich Nhat Hanh. Embracing this truth, this simple act of showing up and being fully present can ripple outwards, transforming your life and the lives of those around you. Imagine if your everyday actions could create profound and lasting change, not just in your personal sphere but on a global scale. This idea is at the heart of Bill Gates Sr.'s remarkable journey, revealing how presence, compassion, and courage can shape a better world. A life shaped by adversity and purpose. Bill Gates Sr. grew up during the Great Depression in a modest small-town setting. These humble beginnings instilled in him the values of resilience, community, and hard work. His early experiences taught him that showing up for others, even in small ways, builds a foundation of trust and mutual support, qualities that became central to his life's philosophy. As Maya Angelou said, "People will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel." Speaking out against injustice. Throughout his life, Gates Sr. demonstrated the courage to speak out against injustice, no matter how daunting the opposition. Whether advocating for equal opportunities or encouraging philanthropy, his voice resonated with a deep commitment to fairness. He proved that courage isn't the absence of fear but the willingness to act in its presence, reminding us of Nelson Mandela's words, "I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it." Fostering global philanthropy. As the father of one of the world's most influential philanthropists, Bill Gates Sr. played a key role in shaping the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation's vision. His leadership demonstrated how even those behind the scenes could influence global initiatives that address poverty, disease, and education. He showed that true compassion isn't limited by borders, it extends to all humanity. Lessons in community and connection. At the core of Gates Sr.'s legacy lies his belief in the power of community. He understood that genuine connections and collective efforts drive progress. His life exemplifies how prioritizing relationships over personal ambition can lead to lasting impact, echoing John Donne's famous line, "No man is an island, entire of itself." An invitation to act. Bill Gates Sr.'s life offers a powerful invitation, to engage more deeply with the world around us, to be present in the lives of others, and to act with courage and compassion. As you reflect on his story, consider how your everyday choices can leave a mark on the world. The best way to find yourself, Mahatma Gandhi advised, is to lose yourself in the service of others. Let this timeless wisdom inspire you to show up, speak out, and create the change you wish to see. About the author. Bill Gates Sr. was a distinguished attorney and dedicated philanthropist whose influence extended far beyond the courtroom. As a co-founder of the prominent law firm Preston Gates and Ellis, he built a legacy of legal excellence while also engaging in public policy and education advocacy. His career was marked by a commitment to justice and the betterment of society, shaping critical conversations in his field. Beyond his professional achievements, Gates Sr. played a pivotal role in establishing and guiding the vision of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. His active participation in community service and global philanthropic efforts reflected his unwavering belief in creating positive change. His work continues to inspire others to champion causes that improve lives worldwide. Chapter 1: A Life Built on Presence and Purpose. Growing up in the small, tight-knit town of Bremerton, Washington, during the Great Depression, Bill Gates Sr. learned early the significance of showing up for others. His parents exemplified quiet leadership through their unwavering dedication to their community. His father became a trusted pillar of support, always ready to contribute to local causes, while his mother consistently participated in neighborhood activities without seeking recognition. Together, they instilled in young Gates the idea that being present and engaged was more than a duty, it was a way to create meaningful connections. As a teenager, Gates found another source of inspiration in the Boy Scouts, where his scoutmaster, Dorm Brumman, led by example. Dorm taught the troop not just practical skills like camping and survival but also the virtues of persistence and teamwork. One summer, he inspired the boys to take on a monumental project, building a log lodge at Camp Tahuya. Over 3 summers, Gates and his fellow scouts labored together, clearing land, felling trees, and constructing the lodge from scratch. The physical challenge was intense, but the experience underscored the value of collective effort, leaving them with not only a lasting structure but also unbreakable bonds. During World War II, Gates was thrust into a new realm of challenges and camaraderie when he enlisted in the Army. Basic training brought together men from diverse backgrounds, testing their endurance through grueling drills and intense discipline. Yet, it was within these shared struggles that profound friendships emerged. Marching under scorching heat or navigating obstacle courses in heavy rain, Gates learned the importance of relying on others and being someone they could rely on in return. These lessons solidified his belief that showing up meant fully committing to those around you, no matter the circumstances. After the war, Gates returned to civilian life and spent summers working in his father's furniture store. The labor was physically demanding, requiring him to haul and deliver heavy furniture. Yet, he observed his father's pride in every interaction, treating each delivery as an opportunity to bring comfort into people's lives. This experience deepened Gates' understanding of the dignity of hard work and the value of finding purpose in even the most mundane tasks. Each stage of Gates' life reinforced the transformative power of presence. Whether it was supporting a neighbor in need, building something lasting with a team, or enduring hardships alongside fellow soldiers, showing up became the foundation of his character. These moments shaped his worldview and underscored the profound impact of small, consistent acts of commitment. For Gates, being present wasn't just about being physically there, it was about bringing intention, effort, and care to every interaction. Ultimately, Gates' upbringing and experiences taught him that true leadership and connection begin with a simple choice: to show up. This philosophy guided him throughout his life and influenced his approach to work, relationships, and philanthropy. In all facets of life, whether in the military, at work, or in the community, Gates embodied the belief that being present is not only transformative but foundational to living a life of purpose and impact. As Maya Angelou beautifully put it, "People will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel." Chapter 2. Challenging Silence with Action. After returning from the battlefields of World War II, Bill Gates Sr. found himself in a nation gripped by fear and suspicion. It was the era of McCarthyism, where accusations of disloyalty silenced countless voices, and freedoms seemed fragile. On his college campus, Gates confronted the unsettling reality of a ban on political speech, a policy that stifled open dialogue and dissent. Inspired by the principles he had fought to protect, he decided to act. Gathering like-minded students, Gates led a campaign of petitions, peaceful demonstrations, and spirited debates. Their efforts bore fruit when the ban was eventually lifted, marking his first major triumph in advocacy and proving that ordinary people, united by purpose, could challenge the status quo. This early victory left an indelible mark on Gates' outlook, but it was only the beginning of his journey in confronting silence with action. Years later, Gates attended a conference in Nigeria where former President Jimmy Carter addressed a room filled with international delegates. Expecting a routine diplomatic speech, Gates was instead captivated by Carter's unflinching discussion of the HIV/AIDS crisis, a subject shrouded in cultural stigma. Carter's words were bold and unapologetic, piercing through layers of denial to demand urgent action. This fearless approach left Gates deeply inspired and affirmed that meaningful change often requires challenging societal norms, no matter how uncomfortable. Gates carried this lesson with him, recognizing that silence in the face of injustice is a form of complicity. He began to see advocacy not as a privilege for the powerful but as a responsibility for anyone willing to engage with the world. Whether speaking out against oppressive policies or championing causes that others feared to touch, Gates believed in the transformative power of courage and conviction. In one poignant moment, Gates reflected on how change often begins in the seemingly ordinary acts of standing up for what is right. Advocacy, he realized, isn't always about grand speeches or historic moments, it's about the quiet persistence of individuals who refuse to accept the unacceptable. He often reminded others of Margaret Mead's famous words, "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has." Gates' dedication to speaking out extended far beyond activism. It became a guiding principle in his personal and professional life. Whether mentoring young leaders, engaging in philanthropy, or addressing societal issues, he consistently emphasized the importance of giving voice to one's convictions. His actions inspired others to step out of their comfort zones and take a stand, however small it might seem. One of the most significant lessons Gates imparted was the value of addressing issues head-on, even when the path forward seemed uncertain. He often spoke of how fear of failure or rejection could paralyze individuals, preventing them from making a difference. By choosing action over apathy, Gates demonstrated that progress requires both determination and a willingness to confront obstacles with resilience. Through his journey, Gates also came to appreciate the ripple effect of courage. Every time he spoke out, he observed how others were emboldened to follow suit. It became clear to him that advocacy isn't a solitary act, it's a spark that ignites collective action. This belief fueled his lifelong commitment to challenging silence and inspiring others to do the same. Ultimately, Gates' life stands as a testament to the power of standing up and speaking out. His story reminds us that silence in the face of injustice allows oppression to thrive, while action, however small, can transform lives and communities. As Martin Luther King Jr. once said, "Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter." Gates lived by this ethos, proving that change is always possible when we choose to challenge silence with action. Chapter 3: Love, Service, and the Power of Connection. Bill Gates Sr. found a steadfast partner in his wife, Mary Maxwell Gates, a woman whose radiant joy and boundless warmth touched everyone she met. Mary wasn't merely a companion, she was a dynamic force who amplified the values of love, service, and connection that define their shared lives. Together, they became a powerful team, committed to making a difference not just within their family but in the broader community as well. Mary's zest for life was nothing short of magnetic. She had a rare ability to transform ordinary moments into extraordinary memories. On one occasion, after a long drive to visit friends at a rural farm, exhaustion could have easily ended the evening. But Mary had other plans. Instead of heading to bed, she urged everyone to stay awake just a little longer. Leading them outdoors, she turned their fatigue into wonder as they watched the sunrise together. That moment wasn't simply about witnessing a dawn, it was about embracing life's small joys and sharing them with the people she cared for. Her gift for building connections was one of Mary's most remarkable traits. She possessed an innate talent for recognizing potential in relationships that others might overlook. This ability was evident when she introduced her son, Bill Jr., whom she affectionately called Trey, to investor Warren Buffett. Despite Trey's reluctance to take time away from his work at Microsoft, Mary's gentle persistence prevailed. What began as a simple introduction during a 4th of July weekend blossomed into a lifelong friendship and partnership, one that would shape global philanthropy in ways neither man could have predicted. Even as life presented challenges, Mary's optimism remained unshakable. When diagnosed with a rare and aggressive form of cancer, she faced her illness with the same grace and positivity that had always defined her. At Trey and Melinda's wedding, despite her declining health, Mary rose to offer a toast that captured the essence of her spirit. Her words about love's enduring power and the strength of unity resonated deeply with everyone present, leaving a legacy of hope and resilience. Mary's connection to her community extended far beyond her family. She believed in showing up for others, a value she and Bill Sr. modeled together. Whether through charitable initiatives, mentorship, or simple acts of kindness, they lived by the principle that building meaningful relationships was one of life's most profound contributions. Through her actions, Mary amplified Bill Sr.'s core values, reinforcing their shared belief in the transformative power of love and service. Their relationship was a testament to how genuine connection can elevate not only personal relationships but also collective efforts to create a better world. Mary's life reminded those around her that true service is about presence and engagement. Her ability to inspire others through her kindness and determination left an indelible mark. She once reflected, "It's not about grand gestures, but about showing up every day with an open heart and a willingness to connect." Together, Bill Sr. and Mary exemplified that love and service are inseparable from the act of truly showing up. Their story continues to inspire, reminding us all that even in life's smallest moments, there is immense power in choosing connection over isolation and action over silence. Chapter 4: Caring for Friendships and Fostering Young Minds. Friendships often serve as the cornerstone of life's most meaningful moments, providing joy and solace through the highs and lows. For Bill Gates Sr., some of his deepest friendships dated back to his childhood, with many standing the test of time. One notable example was the bridge club started by his late wife, Mary. For over 60 years, this gathering brought together close friends, offering camaraderie that transcended the game itself. Even after Mary's passing, the group continued to meet, cherishing the enduring bonds they had built. One lively evening during a game, a friend named Charlotte humorously responded to her partner's constant complaints by slipping on a pair of earmuffs, sparking laughter all around. This light-hearted moment exemplified the deep understanding and trust that decades of friendship had cultivated. Gates often emphasized how simple acts, like a phone call, a heartfelt note, or arranging a get-together, could strengthen these bonds. To him, friendships were among life's most precious treasures, and nurturing them required consistent presence and care. This same philosophy naturally extended to his views on early education. Gates believed that nurturing began at birth, and some of his fondest memories involved mornings spent with his children and their great-grandmother, Lala. Lala would gather them for story time, weaving tales that captivated their imaginations and planted the seeds of curiosity. These seemingly ordinary moments were, to Gates, extraordinary opportunities to shape a child's love for learning and exploration. Long before studies confirmed it, Gates intuitively understood the critical importance of these early interactions. He later encountered research that validated his belief: the first few years of a child's life are pivotal for their intellectual and emotional development. He realized that fostering a stimulating and supportive environment in those formative years could unlock a child's potential and lay the foundation for a brighter future. Gates also saw the consequences of neglecting early childhood education. He understood that children who lacked nurturing and encouragement during their early years often face significant challenges later in life. This not only impacted the individual but also perpetuated cycles of inequality, limiting the progress of entire communities. Gates became a strong advocate for addressing this issue, recognizing that investing in young minds was essential for building a more equitable and prosperous society. The parallels between cultivating friendships and fostering early education were evident to Gates. Both required patience, effort, and a heartfelt commitment to the well-being of others. Just as he cherished the lifelong connections he had with friends, he was equally dedicated to ensuring that every child had the opportunity to thrive from the start. To Gates, nurturing young minds was not only a moral imperative but also a practical solution to some of society's most pressing problems. He firmly believed that by prioritizing early education, communities could create a future where more individuals had the tools to succeed and contribute meaningfully. Ultimately, Gates' life reflected a profound understanding of the power of care, whether in friendships or in fostering young minds. His story serves as a reminder that the most enduring legacies are often built on simple acts of kindness, presence, and a steadfast commitment to helping others grow. Chapter 5: A Life Dedicated to Giving Back. From an early age, Bill Gates Sr. understood the power of community and the profound importance of giving back. As his journey evolved from personal accomplishments to global philanthropy, these core values expanded into a mission to create a broader, more equitable impact. His life story demonstrates how individual responsibility can extend outward, creating ripples of change that touch the entire world. A defining moment in Gates Sr.'s journey came when he reflected on his son's extraordinary success with Microsoft. While Bill Jr.'s intelligence, hard work, and determination were clear contributors, Gates realized that much of his son's achievement was rooted in external factors. Growing up in a society that prioritized education and innovation afforded opportunities that others might never experience. This led Gates to question the notion of success as purely personal and advocate for a shift from mine to ours, recognizing society's collective role in fostering opportunity. This shift became a cornerstone of Gates' philanthropic philosophy. Gates' growing involvement in philanthropy also reshaped his views on wealth and responsibility. He became a staunch supporter of fair taxation, particularly the federal estate tax. Gates believed that those who benefited most from society's resources had a moral obligation to give back. Watching efforts to repeal this tax deeply concerned him, as he feared it would exacerbate inequality and undermine social mobility. Speaking out against such measures, he championed the idea that true success is measured by one's contributions to the greater good, not merely personal gain. Through his work with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Gates' sense of community expanded to encompass the global stage. His travels to developing countries brought him face to face with mothers in places like Bangladesh and Africa, struggling to keep their children healthy amidst dire poverty. These encounters deeply resonated with him, reaffirming his belief in a shared humanity and the universal desire for dignity and opportunity. One of the Foundation's central missions became empowering women in these regions, recognizing them as pivotal to breaking the cycle of poverty. Gates saw firsthand how enabling women through education, healthcare, and economic opportunities could transform entire communities. By focusing on empowerment, the Foundation sought to uplift individuals and, in doing so, foster systemic change. Gates also emphasized the interconnectedness of privilege and responsibility. He often spoke about how individual success is inherently tied to the societal systems that enable it. For Gates, giving back wasn't just a charitable act but a moral imperative, a way of honoring the community's role in any personal achievement. His commitment to philanthropy reflected a deeply held belief in fairness and equality. Gates understood that while individual effort plays a significant role in success, systemic barriers often hinder others from reaching their potential. He dedicated his life to breaking down these barriers, striving to ensure that everyone, regardless of background, had access to opportunities. Gates Sr.'s legacy is a powerful reminder of the impact one individual can have when they embrace a life of service. His story challenges us to look beyond our personal achievements and recognize our collective responsibility to create a more just and compassionate world. Chapter 6: How optimism drives global change. Bill Gates Sr. often marveled at the transformative power of collective human spirit. After returning from World War II, he experienced this firsthand through the GI Bill, a program that provided veterans with access to higher education. At the time, skeptics doubted its feasibility, arguing it would be too expensive and dilute the quality of academia. Yet, Gates saw a different story unfold. Universities flourished with the influx of motivated students, and the nation reaped the rewards of a more educated workforce. To Gates, the GI Bill symbolized the extraordinary potential of public will to reshape society for the better. Years later, Gates' global travels with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation exposed him to countless stories of individuals harnessing optimism to drive change. In a remote village, he met a doctor who had left the comfort of a lucrative practice to serve in underserved areas. Her unwavering dedication inspired him, embodying the idea that when individuals act with compassion and purpose, their efforts can ripple out to transform entire communities. A pivotal moment in Gates' understanding of global change came when his granddaughter brought home a school assignment on the Millennium Development Goals, MDGs. These global targets, established in 2000 by leaders from 147 nations, aim to eradicate extreme poverty and disease. Seeing the next generation engage with these challenges filled Gates with hope. For him, the MDGs were more than a pledge, they were a testament to the collective will of humanity to tackle the world's most pressing issues together. Gates often reflected on how these tipping points in history arise. He believed they occur when enough individuals decide to act. Public will, as he saw it, wasn't an abstract force but a tangible accumulation of personal decisions to care, to contribute, and to show up. From sweeping initiatives like the GI Bill to something as simple as a child's school project, he understood that meaningful change always begins with someone recognizing their place in the greater human story. One story that stayed with Gates involved a teacher in rural Africa who created a makeshift classroom under a tree. Despite limited resources, the teacher's optimism and commitment turned that humble space into a beacon of learning and hope for the children. Witnessing such resilience reminded Gates that the greatest changes often stem from the smallest acts of courage and determination. Gates was also deeply moved by the collaboration he saw during global health crises. In one instance, he observed the distribution of mosquito nets in malaria-affected regions. It wasn't just the efficiency of the logistics that impressed him but the way local volunteers and international organizations worked hand in hand. This collaboration reinforced his belief that optimism thrives when people unite for a common cause. A recurring theme in Gates' reflections was the role of optimism in sustaining efforts for change. He understood that progress is rarely immediate or linear, but it is the belief in a better future that keeps people pushing forward. Whether advocating for educational reform, healthcare access, or poverty alleviation, Gates championed the idea that hope is not naive, it is essential. Through his experiences, Gates demonstrated that optimism isn't about ignoring challenges but about choosing to confront them with determination and faith in humanity's capacity to overcome. His life's work reminds us that whether through grand policies, personal sacrifices, or everyday decisions, each of us has a role to play in creating a better world. As he often said, optimism is a force multiplier. In conclusion, the wisdom of showing up, a life of service and compassion. Bill Gates Sr.'s life, as captured in Showing Up for Life, is a testament to the power of presence, commitment, and the profound impact of simple acts of service. Growing up during the Great Depression in a small Washington town, Gates learned early the value of community and dedication. His parents, through their quiet but unwavering support of their neighbors, instilled in him the belief that being present and helping others isn't just an obligation but a privilege. Throughout his life, Gates embodied these principles, starting with his involvement in the Boy Scouts, where he witnessed how perseverance and teamwork could achieve extraordinary goals. This foundation prepared him for the challenges of serving in World War II, where the bonds formed in shared hardship deepened his understanding of loyalty and reliance on one another. These experiences shaped his lifelong commitment to showing up for others, no matter the circumstances. After the war, Gates transitioned from his military service to civilian life, working alongside his father in the family's furniture business. Here, he learned the dignity of hard work and the importance of taking pride in even the smallest tasks. This lesson stayed with him, reminding him that all contributions, no matter how modest, can make a meaningful difference. Gates' advocacy and commitment to justice became evident during his college years, where he led efforts to overturn restrictions on free speech, challenging the oppressive atmosphere of McCarthyism. His courage and determination inspired others to stand for their beliefs, demonstrating the ripple effect one person's actions can have on creating change. As he often reflected, A hero is someone who has given his or her life to something bigger than oneself. Joseph Campbell. Family was another cornerstone of Gates' life. His wife, Mary Maxwell Gates, was a powerful partner who amplified his values of love, connection, and service. Together, they nurtured their family while extending their compassion to their community and beyond. Mary's ability to inspire others, even in the face of her own challenges, exemplified the transformative power of love and optimism. In his later years, Gates became a passionate advocate for global philanthropy, helping to guide the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. His travels to impoverished regions revealed to him the shared humanity that unites us all. Whether working to reduce child mortality or combat preventable diseases, Gates remained steadfast in his belief that collective action could address the world's most pressing challenges. Through his reflections on wealth and responsibility, Gates championed the idea that success is not an individual achievement but a product of community and opportunity. He argued that those who benefit the most from society have a moral obligation to give back. As he put it, "To whom much is given, much is expected." Luke 12:48. His advocacy for fair taxation and philanthropy stemmed from this conviction, urging others to use their resources for the greater good. Gates' story reminds us that showing up, whether for a friend, a cause, or a challenge, has the power to create lasting change. His life illustrates the truth that greatness is not about grand gestures but consistent, meaningful action. In his own words, the essence of showing up is about the small, steady ways we choose to engage with the world around us. As you reflect on Bill Gates Sr.'s journey, consider how you can show up in your own life. Whether through simple acts of kindness, standing up for what you believe in, or fostering connections, your presence matters. As Gandhi once said, "Be the change that you wish to see in the world." If this story inspired you, help spread its wisdom to others. Like, share, and subscribe to this channel to uplift someone who may not have had the chance to explore such transformative content. Together, let's create a ripple effect of kindness, connection, and positive change.